a Flickerkin. Little Pip's reality hiccuped. While digging through the ruins of a Cogsworth foundry, his body would suddenly dissolve into translucent light, hanging suspended in time like a forgotten afterimage. Then, snap, he'd materialize again, stomach lurching as if he'd missed a step on a staircase. These temporal stutters weren't bugs in some computer code. They were fractures in the fabric of his existence.
That's it, Little Pip. Harness the stutter.
Rasped a voice like gravel on metal. Charles Glimmer Rockwood materialized beside him. First solid, then a controlled shimmer of silver light pulsed across his face, where a temporal scar had carved itself deep, before his form settled back into reality with the weight of bedrock. Glimmer displayed a chronoplaque to Little Pip, whose auburn hair was tied back with a piece of salvaged wire. The plaque was made of a dark, obsidian-like material that emitted a deep, consistent temporal hum. Across its surface, faint lines glowed softly, outlining a map. Little Pip's fingers hovered above the plaque's surface, afraid to touch it.
Everything else shifts, but this stays solid.
Glimmer's scar pulsed silver as his lips curled upward.
Precisely why it matters. It's our compass through chaos.
His weathered fingertip traced the hourglass etched into the obsidian, where time appeared frozen.
There, where reality doesn't fracture.
For Glimmer, once a renowned master artisan of the Cogsworth Brotherhood, the static zone was not a mythical refuge, but a tool of destruction. He viewed the orderly, predictable life in Aeonfex as deceitful, and he was determined to impose his chaotic reality onto the world. After years of searching, he finally acquired the map he needed, all while waiting for someone like Little Pip, a Flickerkin with untamed, volatile temporal abilities, to execute his scheme. They set off on their journey, with Glimmer leading Little Pip through the disordered remnants of the outer wards. It was a continuous stream of alerts and rapid rescues.
Watch out, Little Pip. Temporal eddy.
Glimmer's voice resonated like distant thunder, a low rumble that seemed to vibrate through the air. The temporal vortex churned before them, a maelstrom of fractured moments and broken seconds. Little Pip froze at the sight. Glimmer didn't hesitate. His form dissolved into quicksilver light, slicing through the storm's heart before reconstituting on the far side. His temporal scar pulsed as he turned back, eyes narrowing at Little Pip's hesitation.
Fear makes you calculate, boy. Hatred makes you leap. Stop thinking and let the disorder carry you through.
Little Pip drew a sharp breath, summoned his courage, and surrendered to the disorder. His body dissolved into fractured light as he pierced the temporal vortex, its wild currents rippling through his essence like static electricity. When he rematerialized on the other side, molecules snapping back into place, he caught Glimmer's thin smile, approval as fleeting and cold as winter sunlight. The journey had been arduous but effective until a shadow fell across their path. Above them, silhouetted against the fractured sky, stood three variance enforcers, their obsidian uniforms absorbing what little light filtered through the decaying chrono bridge. The temporal constabulary had found them.
Temporal anomalies identified.
The enforcer's voice thundered as his temporal displacement cuff emitted a threatening violet glow.
Run, Little Pip.
Glimmer called out, his tone hollow with feigned concern. His form shimmered into nothingness just as the enforcer's temporal snare cut through the air. The violet beam sliced harmlessly through the space where he had been. Little Pip wasn't so fortunate. The energy caught him mid-stride, his silhouette stretching like taffy as his timeline warped and fractured around him. A silver streak materialized, Glimmer, just long enough to hurl a jagged chunk of foundry debris. It struck the enforcer's visor with a crystalline crack. As the enforcer reeled backward, Glimmer's form solidified completely. He grabbed Little Pip's wrist, their bodies dissolving into temporal static before rematerializing beneath a collapsed archway. For 60 fractured minutes they huddled there, Little Pip's pulse skipping like a damaged chronometer, while Glimmer's heartbeat thundered at half-tempo, their combined rhythms and a rhythmic duet of fear.
Do you see?
Glimmer murmured, his voice a soft hiss.
They only respond to order. Chaos. Chaos is our tool.
At last, they arrived at the spot marked on the map. Instead of a city or a building, they found an enormous crystalline edifice, covered with unusual plants, all emitting a deep, powerful hum of stability. This was the origin of the static zone, the grand chronal engine from a past age, now inactive, yet still resonating with a flawless, steady temporal pulse.
It's real?
Little Pip murmured. For the first time in his memory, his molecules weren't vibrating at the edge of dissolution, no longer threatening to scatter like dandelion seeds in a temporal breeze. He pressed his palms against his chest, feeling the steady thump-thump of his heart keeping perfect rhythm instead of its usual arrhythmic stutter. The sensation was like gravity suddenly working properly after a lifetime of floating. The unfamiliar weight of complete existence anchoring him to a single, crystalline moment in time where past, present, and future aligned into one solid now. As he entered the clearing, Glimmer's eyes lacked hope. Instead, they gleamed with cold, calculated delight. He strode to the center of the engine, retrieved a sleek silver device from his pocket, and pressed a button. The engine started to hum with a deliberate, steady power. However, rather than emitting a stabilizing pulse, a chaotic burst of temporal energy exploded from its core. The golden light that emerged was anything but stabilizing. It was ominous and foreboding. Little Pip felt his newfound stability disintegrate, his world beginning to fracture and unravel.
A static zone?
Glimmer's laughter erupted, a chilling symphony of sinister notes that reverberated through the air.
No, Little Pip. It's a temporal bomb.
He revealed, with a maniacal glint in his eye.
Now, the rest of Aeonfex will finally be plunged into the chaos that defines our very existence.